Hi guys and welcome to the channel. It's Sparky here and we are looking at WIldstar again. This is going to be a slightly different video. It is more on the news, on the changes, because there's some massive changes happening at the moment. This news channel is going to be much more light-hearted than in-depth, because I prefer to play the game and just sort of inform. First of all, the big one, the big mega one. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The mega one. They are basically making two mega servers. One for PvP and one for PvE. They're not doing one for RP. There's just obviously not enough RPs in the game to warrant a mega server for them. However, I presume they'll still have a channel available in the PvE mega server or PvP mega server, which is awesome. You know, it's going to help, definitely help. It won't fix everything because your dungeon queues are still going to be the same, your PvP queues are still going to be the same, and your arena queues are still going to be the same. And adventure, god damn it WIldstar, why do you have so much content? And your adventure queues will still be the same. Because at the moment, unless you check my realm only, they go across all servers. I mean, I've done adventures with Germans before, French, so it obviously is across every server. However, the mega servers will help in creating a much more busier environment. There will be, hopefully, there'll be much more people in the low level zones leveling up. So you're not constantly in this state of where is everyone? If you're a new player and you started today, for example, before the mega servers, you may not know, you may start thinking that the game has died or is very low population because of the fact that there's just no one doing the low level stuff really at the moment. So it's definitely going to keep people interested in that way and hopefully bring more people in, because of obviously with these mega servers and you seeing everyone all the time, it's definitely going to create that sort of busier environment, and that's definitely a good thing. So it's definitely it's pushing it in the right direction, which is awesome. That's what we want. We want it always going in the right direction. We want this to be the best game there is. The other thing they will be doing, this is slightly older news now because the mega servers was like yesterday, depending on when this video goes out. It was on the 2nd, 2nd of the 9th. And the other stuff is they are rechanging how the rune system works. I personally don't really like the rune system that they implemented or changed, and now they're going back slightly and fixing it. Fixing the change that they made to an alright system. I think that makes sense. Basically, the rune system is alright. That's me being polite. Yeah, generally people do not like it. It's because you can get an item and those rune slots are random. It doesn't make sense. From any point of, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You can win an item in a raid, for example, and the rune slots can be absolutely fudged. You could end up with really bad rune slots like air for DPS, I think that's one, and water, I think that's another one, which isn't good for DPS. And because of this really awful system, it devalues a lot of the gear. Sometimes crafted gear is then better than what's dropping in raids, which is just wrong. If it's the best, the way I see it is, if it's the best gear in the game, it's the best gear in the game. There's no, oh, but it's got this, or it's got that. It's flat out the best gear for what it's for. None of this crappy random rune slot stuff. The best is the best, full stop. But they haven't done that. They've gone for this whole, it can change for customization. no one cares about that, but that's true. That is what they're doing. And to sort of counter this whole randomness, they are allowing you to buy these items that you can use on the item once, on the rune slot, sorry, once, and they will basically change the rune slot into, well, it's a randomly generated new rune slot. So say you get a water one, you could change it to hopefully a fire, but more, it could be any of them really. The blue items will have 3 slots in them. They're still random though. Green items will have one rune slot. Again random. Basically anything outside of a dungeon that's blue will have 2 random rune items. A dungeon eventually will be 3, and I think the purple or epic gear is 4. I think it's 4. I can't remember what he said in the video. But yeah, overall, it's a band-aid to a problem they caused. And lastly, well not well yeah, let's say lastly now, then we'll have Q&A after. So lastly, they are changing the attunement. So before, players would get stuck apparently at silver. Again, I haven't got that far, so I can only speculate about what I've been reading on the forums. And the general consensus was that silver was difficult to get, so they're now lowering it down to bronze to make it more of a sort of equal comparison to raids, because in raids you don't really have timers other than in rage timers really. Or putting it down to bronze, which is basically kill everything or kill all the bosses and complete all optional objectives. So that's quite a nice change. It makes things a little bit more accessible and a little bit more relaxed, I'd say, so you don't have to worry so much about getting gold every time. Though obviously if you do get gold, the chances of getting better loot are increased, so you still want to be going for the gold really. The other change to the achievement is they're going to revise the steps on the world boss. So on world bosses, sorry, to make it easier for players to get through. And that's a little bit ambiguous, because no, I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I mean, are they making it so that you can do the world boss step at any given point along the achievement? Or are they just making it so that it requires less players to kill? You know, who knows? Could be one of the two. And lastly, they are changing the fact that you don't need 300 of these patterns, primal patterns, to get into 40-man raids. You only need 100 now. So that would, again, it's just an accessibility change, which is good. I mean, they're not changing the difficulty, they're changing the accessibility. Perfect. Love it, because the difficulty is what makes things fun. The accessibility is what makes things a chore. So for some Q&A. Is there a way to make it always daytime? And they're looking into it, and I think this will be a good thing to do, because it's always a little bit annoying when you go to your plot and it's night, but you haven't made your plot for night. It's obviously some people probably just, you know, for generally about 50% people aren't bothered, but for me personally, it is a real pain in the ass because you can't see very well, or you can't see very much. So it'd be nice to be able to make it either permanently day, permanently night. Just a bit of interest, make it a bit more interesting. I mean, it will help people who RP as well, because they may want to just do a night thing, a day thing. So it's definitely something they should do. There's another one here, cleaned dye to remove dye colour. So basically a way to remove the dye colour that you put in and reset it to default. This needs to be implemented, it really does. At the moment, once you've dyed it, that's it. You can only overwrite the dye. You can never get back the original colour without getting the gear again. And that is needed. It is just needed, because sometimes you change it and then you think, actually, I preferred it the way it was. And it could be something super rare and you're never ever going, well, you could find it again. But why should you have to? If they just improve the dye system, then yeah, that would solve the problem. And they are looking into this. They said that it will be brought in over the next 6 months. But there is an issue that designer's colour and armour piece different from its original colour. They need to bring it in. Bring it in now. Bring it in now, Carbine. We need this. We want to look good. And there is a question on here about amp drop rates, and I think they fixed it because. So I'm on Carbine side here because I've actually seen trigger fingers drop in a dungeon, and so it can't be that rare. On my first dungeon run, it drops. Off a boss, I think it was. I kicked myself because I clicked green by accident, but yeah, I think they've sorted it out mostly, and also the price drop on them is quite substantial. Originally it was going for 30 plat. I think I saw it for higher. I saw it for about 50 or 60 plat, and it dropped down to, well, according to them, 1 plat. I've seen it for about 2, but that's massive. So it's got to be much more accessible. So I don't know why they're asking that question, because it definitely has been increased. Obviously they said their usual, we're always looking at drop rates. But yeah, I think they've done enough really, because it seems to be a lot more common. And I think that's everything. I mean, there's loads of other questions, but before I go through them all, I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys, see how you guys are doing, sort of talk about WIldstar without being in game as much as I am now. As much as I usually am, I should say. And yeah, I hope you're doing really well. If you've got any sort of questions, you can ask in the chat, or tips on how I can improve in the dungeon, because I've been watching the video back as I'm talking and I'm realising I make quite a few mistakes, so I'll be changing that soon. And yeah, if you've got anything to sort of comment back, just throw a comment into the comment section. Leave a message in the comment section, I should say. And yeah, I hope you guys are having fun. Stay frosty, guys. I've been Sparky. See you later. Bye.